Good morning to all. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. It is nice to say hello to you guys on this, what is it, Thursday, June 13th of the year 2024. Just watching the news, and I want to not make it long, this video. It's really easy and self explanatory what I just want to say. As a former professional boxer that has competed in a professional forum, and that has competed uh, in a boxing match professionally numerous times, that has gotten brutally hurt and also injured. Uh, I want to say to the International Commission of Boxing, what you guys are considering to actually provide access to men, that they were born men, as transitioning towards women, to be considered to be fighting against women in boxing. It is brutal. It is the most incompetent, and ultimately, it is mortal. What you guys are doing, what you guys are considering, just by considering this, it is brutal and it is life threatening to other individuals and to other people and towards women. First and foremost, I would like to say to all my audience, I'm not a transphobic, I'm not a homophobic, I'm not a xenophobic, I'm not a pronoun phobic, I'm not a fat phobic, I'm not nothing about that. I'm not a white supremacist, white imperialist, conspiracy theorists creating hysteria, fear mongers, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, Zionist from the river to the sea, all of the terminology that you liberals, progressive, mercenary, communist, socialist, Marxists use. I'm not that. The only thing that I can tell you is that, as this is not as me being a journalist, I was a professional boxer. I know what it is to compete in a professional form. I know what it is to do a diet, to completely dehydrate yourself for several weeks for you to get to a weight class. I know how it is to do sparring sessions for numerous days, to numerous weeks for preparation. I know what it is to suffer the consequences of broken, parts of your body, for it to compose yourself and to fix them and to go, to be entirely, completely healthy for a boxing match. I know what it is, all of that. I've done it. Not as much as a lot of my friends have done it, but ultimately, I know what it is. What I can tell you is this: as I had competed against men, uh, I know what it is, the boxing match, and I have a lot of friends who have suffered the consequences of the post boxing career. That is trauma, brain damage. Ultimately, also, their body is not the same, and Parkinson's. A lot of the things that they suffer due to health issues and the punishment that we receive, ultimately when we are in a boxing match. I have a couple of friends that they're not with us anymore. I have lost them due to paralysis of a brain, a paralysis due to a boxing match, and another one that was a friend of mine, that he died due to enormous dehydration, and ultimately the punishment in the boxing match was not positive for his life. Um, Due to these factors, we have seen a lot of professional boxers that they have lost their lives, uh, given to the sport, and the consequences of going in there. And the boxing is to hurt and to not get hurt. That is the full on objective, to win, to try to hurt somebody and not to get hurt. And for the boxing commission, for them to consider transitioning men towards women to compete against women, with these men that they have chromosomes of men and they identify as women, and they want to compete in a boxing scenario, in a boxing professional scenario, against women. It is brutal. You guys are going to be providing access for another person to get brutally hurt, and ultimately, it is not only a disrespect towards women, a disrespect to the women's sport of boxing, but ultimately is a disrespect towards life. You guys are not respecting life at all. because you guys know what a strength of a man that knows how to hit. A boxer knows how to hit and how to acknowledge also to get hit. You know the power of a woman. You know exactly the power of a female in comparison to a power of a male. And ultimately, in a boxing match, that is completely different. A professional boxer knows how to move, knows how to skip, knows how to hurt. They know that is their job, to know how to skip, know how to move, know how to box, and ultimately know how to hurt and not get hurt. That is his boxing job. Imagine a male knowing how to skip, knowing how to move, knowing how to hurt, and knowing not to get hurt in a boxing match against a woman that knows how to skip, knows how to move, and knows how to hurt and not to get hurt, but with the strength of a female. It is completely disgusting. The International Boxing Committee considering these men, that they were born men, that they are now transitioning into a woman and now identifying as a woman and want to be in a boxing match with a female. It is completely disgusting. You're not even leading yourself towards the respect of the boxing sport. You're not even respecting the boxing community. You're not even respecting the boxing fans. You're not even respecting life at all, because you guys have seen how this, for you guys now, it is a complete business, and it has been a business for so many years. But now you are selling the ideologies of just because men are transitioning to be women, and you want to be pandered and you want to pander to that side. So this will be rubbed into the throats of every single individual in the United States of America, and from there be spanned to the world. No, sir. I am not going to accept that. Me, as a former professional boxer, not even a journalist, not this is not even considering my career. This is considering what I practice and what I have been practicing since I was young. Boxing. This, the thing about it is that, when boxers, they know what they have, the power in their hands. They know that this is a weapon, and we know what this can do. This inevitably can hurt somebody if you know how to use it. And for order for you to be provoked, for me to be provoked, to be in a way that I want to hurt somebody, it has to take a lot, because I know what I can consider to do, and I know what I can do. So you have to man, it has to do a lot, because I know my capabilities, and immediately I can read your stand, and I know where you're going, and I know what I can do as a male former professional boxer. I know what I can do. You can get hurt by anybody. Being a professional boxer does not mean that nobody can also kick your butt. You can get hurt by anybody. But I can tell you, you have a huge advantage if you are a former professional boxer or you are a professional boxer on somebody else. You have a huge advantage because you know how you're not afraid of getting hit. And you're not afraid to hit also. Now imagine this scenario in the street. Hypothetical example. One day, a former professional boxer or a professional boxer wakes up and says, you know, uh, I want to identify, uh, as a woman. I want to identify today as a woman, and I'm going out. And this this male, now identifying as a woman, is a former professional boxer or a professional boxer, gets out. He's wearing a wig, he's wearing a dress. He identifies as a woman, and he goes out, and she or he has a confrontation with a female. Words, confrontational words. And immediately the male, now identifying as a woman, takes advantage and hurts a female. But you cannot do anything to this male, now identifying as a woman, because he identifies as a woman. And it was a confrontation between women. Do you see it's just logical. It's logic. And really the International Boxing Committee, it is doing, it is just given an access for a catastrophe to happen. You're, the catastrophe that they're given access to is life and death. That is what it is. Because imagine a lot of the boxers have suffered the consequences of brain damage, brain tumors, uh, exacerbated, concussions, continuous concussions. It's a lot. The damage, the physical damage, and the mental damage is a lot. Now imagine passing this law, or whatever they want to pass, for males with chromosomes of male to be identified as a female and to participate in a women's sport that is boxing women's sport. How brutal that is going to be. It's going to be amazingly brutal. And it is not only brutal in a fact that it's going to just females are going to get hurt in a way that you're going to say, oh, Oscar, this is about equal rights. This is about this. This is about that. Let me just give you an example about these equal rights and all these feminazis for all of you that you are for the patriarchy and all this stupidity. Let me just tell you this. In Mexico, we have a lot of feminazis that they were protesting that women do not get the equal rights, do not get the equal opportunities for a job. They do not get, equal equality, that is a country of machismo, that women are being treated second class. Let me just tell you, in Mexico, the person that it will lead the country in the next 6 years, guess what it is? It's a female. The person who is going to be the president of Mexico for the next 6 years, what is it? Is a woman. The person who has the most significant executive power of our country, what it is? It's a woman. The person who will take the decisions of millions of Mexicans in the next 6 years, is it a male? No, it is a woman. So stop with your stupidity language of patriarchy, because Mexico has demonstrated now that they will give access to whatever it is, female or male, to have equal opportunity. And this in comparison to this that it is to boxing, to what they're trying to do right now. Imagine if they pass it, if they say yes. Imagine how many women are going to get hurt and the disadvantages of these people. I think that it's time for the women and this, and I know a couple of world champions that they're females. One of them, she's from Tijuana. She's a good friend of mine. She's a world champion. She's an incredible woman. And I knew her back in the day when we were sitting in the park. We were about to go in and train for the gym, and she used to tell me, Oscar, this was, oh man, this was in 2012, I think so. She used to tell me, Oscar, I'm going to be a world champion one day. We used to laugh about it. I'm like, come on, man, you're not going to be a world champion. We were playing around, and now she's a three-time world champion. Amazing woman. She's one of the most incredible women that I ever met in my life, and I care about her, and she's incredible. And the other one, also, she's a former world champion. She's retired now. She's a legend in our city of Tijuana. I know her also. So how do you think that these women are going to feel that now they're going to have transitioning names uh, into transitioning males into the into the sport of boxing? Barbara Alexander, thank you for trolling. You're out. This is the most stupidest comment. Like, it's just, wow, man. These some of these people are really incompetent in the comments. Uh, it is amazing. And the hatred that you get immediately, they get ardidos, no? They get mad. They get absolutely mad because you're telling them the truth. They get these are liberals. These are the progressive, mercenary, activist, socialist, communist, Marxist liberals. That they want all these irregularities. They want to break the system. They want all this demonic, evil agenda to be rubbed into our throats and to be analyzed and to be accepted. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want every single thing that it was not put on the books to be done right. They want it, completely the opposite. And what they say it is right, and what you say it is wrong. Mm. God bless you all. Thank you for joining in. Um, this is so the International Boxing Community Committee has considered, uh, you know, for oh my God, hey, yay! Um, let's take a minute to say hello to Miss Jerry Lee. I love you, Miss Jerry Lee. Send you a big hug. Say hello to Miss Jerry Lee, everybody. She's an angel in my life. Uh, so, this decision uh, to be uh, to be normalizing this kind of conduct, and to ultimately normalizing males to be more males, but now they're transitioning into women. That nobody's. I don't have nothing against people, man. Nothing against your sexual preference. Nothing against your gender preference. If you want to identify as a wall, go and identify as a wall, a tree, a ball, a car, whatever you want to identify, man. It's you know, uh, go ahead. It's your life. But when you're trying to take advantage of your chromosomes, and also you're trying to take advantage of your strength and your advantages as a male to be participating in a female sport, and not only that, to hurt, because the boxing is different in boxing. It is not like baseball that you stand in a box and you just hit a little ball and through the middle. It's not like football that you catch a little ball and then you get hit and that's about it. It's not like soccer that you hit the ball and you score it in a goalie and that's about it. No, in boxing and also in MMA, you are competing with another male or female against female to get hurt. That is your job, to go in there, hurt and not get hurt, and win and perform and an amazing and incredible way and show your talents in fighting, not in just hitting a bat, scoring a goal, catching a ball. No, your job is to go in there and try to hurt somebody and not get hurt. So, what I'm saying with this is that, as a former professional boxer, I have been in that scenario where I have gotten hurt. I have a 2 times they broke my nose, have 2 cuts right here on this side, and I have 1 cut right here, and I have a broken wrist. I know what it is to get in there, accept the fact that you are going to get hurt, but also your job is to hurt somebody and punch somebody. Now, imagine that changing the scenario into a male transitioning to be a woman, ultimately now identifying as a woman, and now this woman, male individual wants to fight a female that her chromosomes are a female. And ultimately, when you get that, you're female uh, against a male, imagine the disadvantage of this. Huge disadvantage, enormous disadvantage of somebody trying to hurt you, and your punches are not going to be the same as a male punches. That's obvious. It is completely obvious. And I think that the International Boxing Committee, on considering this, it's brutal. It's murder. Really, you guys are providing an access for the door to be open to death because you guys know what it can happen. The brain damage, the suffering, the pain of getting hurt. It is not, even males against males. Look at the level of punishment that a boxer receives. Is really different than the level of punishment that an MMA fighter receives. The MMA fighter also receives pain, but the boxer receives more pain because he's getting hurt continuously in the head. Head, stomach, head, stomach. It's different. In MMA, you have you go on the ground to ground, you choke, you twist, also you get brutally hurt, but it's completely different. It's more consistency in boxing. And now you want to do that consistency with a male that identifies as a female against a female. Um, as a former professional boxer, I condemn this decision. I completely condemn this decision. Completely. This is brutal, what you guys are trying to do. Brutal. Brutal. Completamente brutal, what you guys are trying to do. There was a liberal that went on a TV with Pierce Morgan. And Pierce Morgan asked him this question. He said, Floyd Mayweather, he said, you can find this on YouTube. This example was Floyd Mayweather has been the king of the defense mechanism of how to hit and not get hit. He has been the more smartest fighter possibly in history. And Pierce Morgan said, Floyd Mayweather, let's say an example, Floyd Mayweather, the most successful, powerful boxer possibly in history. And he asks this other person that thinks that males, that they're transitioning to be women to participate in boxing sports. He asks her, do you think that Floyd Mayweather stands a chance against a female? And the liberal or the progressive says, yes, I think that. And immediately Pierce Morgan interrupts her and it's like, no, you're wrong. You're incorrect. What kind of an individual and a human being are you? You're an animal. You're basically disrespecting a woman in a place that, my God, there's no way that she can compete. Even a male against a male, it's no way that it's competible. And right now, what the International Boxing Commission it is doing, clearly, it is not only insulting women, insulting the sport, but most importantly, they are insulting life. I have lost, as I told you guys, several friends, lost in life 2 friends, and other 2 to 3 friends that they don't box anymore because of the brain damage and also the collateral damage of boxing. And these are former world champions and former contenders. They don't compete anymore because of the level of dehydration, the level of exhaustion, the level of demand of boxing, man. I remember my last match, I can tell you, I had to go down 146 pounds. I'm 5'8", but I'm thick on the legs, so it's really difficult for me to lose weight. And it was so brutal for me to go in there. And I was competing against a 6 foot, 146 pounds. This 6 foot, 146 will blow up the next day because there was no dehydration clause. He will blow up 10 kilos on top of me. It was really difficult. Now, these are advantages that the boxing committee it is not even considering. Imagine the masculine genetics in comparison to the women genetics. So you go to a weight class, right? This hypothetical example, and this say this is a trans, men turn into a woman against a female, and you go to 146 pounds. Hypothetical example. The next day, you can, after the weigh-in, you can hydrate, you can eat, and then you can weigh in yourself to see, oh my God, I blew up 5 kilos. The genetics of women are not going to be exactly the same adapting to the weight class of a male. A male is going to blow up more on the next day that he fights. We have seen fighters blow up 10 kilos, almost 15 pounds, 16 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds on the next day when they're fighting because you have dehydrated your body so much that when you eat after the weigh-in, your body blows up and it wants more and it wants more and wants more. It wants to eat more. It wants to hydrate. It wants more water. The genetics of males and the chromosomes of males are completely different adapting to a woman. What the International Boxing Committee is doing, it is brutally taking advantage of that. And, and And this is happening in the United States, man. The place where the most, you know, talented, possibly boxers of the world has seen. Uh, Mexico, it is the king of boxing. I'm not going to tell you that the United States is not the king of boxing. Also, the United States is the king of boxing. But Mexico has more world titles than a lot of countries in the world. Mexico has a lot of warriors in boxing. But the United States of America, what an insult to Muhammad Ali that he couldn't fight anymore because of Parkinson's. What an insult to marvelous Marlon Hagler. What an insult to Sugar Ray Leonard. What an insult to Sugar Ray Robinson. What an insult to my God, Tommy Hearns. What an insult to Roberto Manos de Piedra Duran. What an insult to my God to Mike Tyson. What an insult to Roy Jones Jr. What an insult to Manny Pacquiao. What an insult to Floyd Mayweather. What an insult to all these great fighters, man. All these great fighters. And I said one of them that is not from the United States, that is Manny Pacquiao. He's from the Philippines. But what an insult to all these fighters, man. It's an insult. The collateral damage that is going to cause. If you say to one of these fighters that I just mentioned you, one of these fighters, if you mention this, they will tell you, no, absolutely not. And I will give you an example. When you are a professional fighter, you are trained to know how to hit and you know how to skip and move. It's a complete advantage to the normal average human being that you can bump into the streets and say, I want to fight you. And immediately you know how he's standing, you know how he's moving, and you immediately know how to take advantage of that because your job is to hurt and not get hurt. And your job is to know how to throw a punch, how to skip, how to move, and how to hurt with every single different punch that you throw. It's a complete advantage of that. These hands are a weapon for the professional boxers. They know that these hands can be a weapon. It's called arma blanca in Mexico. Uh, it's a colored weapon as a white weapon, they say it. Why? Because we can actually take advantage of that. This is why I consider myself a really passive individual outside on the streets. Because for you to provoke me, I know what I can do. Although oh my God, I'm such a no, I'm not a badass. I'm not this, I'm not that. But I know how to defend myself. So I will know what consequence I can be provoked. In comparison to a female, imagine I just put you this hypothetical example. Imagine that. It's brutal what the International Boxing Committee it is considering. There's a few boxers that are stepping up and speaking about this. And this is not supposed to be considered an option. There's not supposed to be a consideration towards this. There's no consideration whatsoever with this. You cannot play with life. Boxing, it is not a sport to play with life. A lot of these people, they have considered it to be entertainment. Yes, it is a business. Yes, it sells tickets. Yes, it sells pay-per-views. Yes, it sells that. But male against male, female against female. When you put a female against a male, you already know that there's a clear disadvantage of it, an exhausting disadvantage. And for order for them to consider this, as I was seeing it, it is completely brutal, inhuman, and it's going to cause a lot of damage, collateral damage towards women, a lot. I don't think that it can be an option. And I consider it to be an insult, not only to the women's sport, but also to the man's sport and to life also. And the sad thing about it that this is happening in the United States, the country that I consider that it will never go through this kind of situation. And this kind of behavior is adapting towards the world. And I'm so glad that some professional boxers, they're stepping up, and a lot of them, they're stepping up to say, no, we're not going to consider, this is not a consideration. You cannot participate in this kind of sport. Because I have seen in the ring, I have seen women when they go to the sparring sessions and they put males against these women in sparring, and the coach tells the male, "Go easy, do not try to go hard." And then they tell him, throw a little hook right there, a little hard, just for her to feel it. And immediately you can see the hard disadvantage of it. It is not, not to make women weak. They're strong. It's women are strong. They're fantastic. We cannot live without women, man. Women is the most beautiful thing that the planet has. I come from a woman. It's the most strongest, individual in mind. But when it comes and also strong in so other sources and so other things. But when it comes to this kind of competition, it's not a it's it's not a thing about ideology, man. It's not a thing about the pride movement of the letter these letter groups. It's not about that. It's not about this ideology that wants to rub into our throats and be the patriarchy and for you to say, oh my God, we deserve equal rights. It's not about that. It's about life. And for order for you to understand this, boxing is not a game. I have seen so many people pass away. So many people have brain collateral damage. So many people get brutally hurt, knocked out. And when they wake up, they're like, where am I? I don't know what the hell happened. What am I doing here? It's a brutal sport. It's a brutal contact sport. It is not a sport that you just pick up a ball, you throw it, and somebody else wants to catch it. It is not a sport that you just run a treadmill and who gets first there? Whoever runs the faster. No, this is a brutal sport that you need to hurt somebody for a win. And also you need to not get hurt for order for you to win. It's a complete difference of this sport in comparison to other sports. International, how's everybody doing? Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News and different networks. Nice to say hello to you guys on this morning. Um, it's June 13th of the year 2024. I'm going to be traveling soon, hopefully, in the next incoming weeks. I just saw Toby Covington. I don't know how to say his last name. He's a MMA fighter. Give an opinion about this. He's the only one that has stepped up. Sean Strickland also has stepped up to the plate and spoke about it. Also, Masvidal, Jorge Masvidal, MMA fighter, has spoke about this. A lot of professional fighters are speaking about this because this is not to be considered an option. This is not considered to be an option. And this shouldn't be an option, people. It shouldn't be an option to consider one of the most brutal sports and contact sports in history to be considered to have a male to compete with a female. It's completely brutal. It's life threatening, and it's an insult towards life. So many people are going to get hurt, and the collateral damage that these people are going to have is irreparable. It is. I don't agree with it. As a former professional boxer, I can tell you that this is not. It's not. It's not even a consideration. It's not even an option. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Sunny day. Got up really early to go for a jog. After that, came back, ate my oatmeal, and I'm drinking some coffee. Apparently, in my coffee, I just got an ant inside of my coffee. Ew. So I'm drinking my coffee right here, and later on I will put out a report in Spanish. There's a question right here. Are you going to Israel with Chuck? Yes, I'm trying to go to Israel with Chuck. I'm saving money. Buy Me a Coffee is right there, pinned in the chat. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, Buy Me a Coffee is right there. I'm trying to save money. I talked to him the other day. I asked him if I can go to Israel. He said he was joking and he was saying, if you want to come to Armenia. But he was just joking around. But of course, he wants to take me to Israel. He wants me to go with him to Israel. I'm trying to get there for the anniversary of October 7th. We want to go, both of us there. And potentially, if everything goes well, and if I save a lot of money, the plane tickets is the most expensive thing for me to fly from Madrid, from Mexico to Madrid, and from Madrid to Israel. Madrid to Israel is the most expensive thing that I got to handle. So I got from here to October to see if I can make it. Hopefully, I will. God will provide. God's plan is our mission. So I'm trying to go over there with him for the second time to cover the 1 year anniversary of October 7th. So trying to get there. God bless you all. Blessings to all. Another comment. Somebody wants to say a comment. Male versus male, female versus female, and transgender versus transgender. Well, it's not even uh, it's an option. It's an option. That can be considered. That can be considered. I can tell you that can be considered. That's an option. Not denigrating nobody else. And for me to end this, because this video, it's I don't know if it stays or not stays, but for me to end this, for all these progressive mercenary activists, socialist, communist, Marxist liberals, I'm not a conspiracy theorist creating hysteria, fear monger, uh, white supremacist, white imperialist, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronophobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, all of these terminologies that you guys are saying all the time and labeling people to cut the freedom of speech. Uh, of course, I'm preoccupied of the fact that they're considering uh, a chromosome male, born male, transitioning towards to be a woman, a trans woman, to be participating in a female sport in boxing. That's brutal. That's an insult towards boxing, and ultimately, I will never accept it. Yeah, I am so sorry. And on my own perspective, from my perspective and from my optic, it is not even a consideration. And for orders for the international committee to consider it, it is an insult towards the sport, insult towards males that they participate in the sport, that they have given their lives for the sport, insult towards women, ultimately towards women, because how women are going to participate in this, I don't know how they're going to do it if they don't stand their ground and say, hell no, we're not going to accept it. But most importantly, it's an insult towards life. Really, it's not these people that they are with their ideology that they are considering this. They don't have respect towards life whatsoever, nothing whatsoever towards life, and it is so bad, so sad that they will not respect women this much. These are the same people that they want the ideology to be everybody to be treated equal, and you are mistreating, you are disrespecting, and you're not even considering the women's life. That's the most aggravating thing, that you are the ones that you're advocating for the equal rights and all this kind of stuff when you're putting a male to hurt a woman that is considered to be this male to now transition as a female, and because of the hormones and all this, that's secondary. No, you're always going to have the strength of a male, and for you to have that and acknowledge that, and also not only that, to consider that, for it to compete against a woman and to hurt a woman, a female, uh, and then advocate for women's rights, it's just, oh my God, what the hell? You're the one that brutally is hurting women, nobody else. You're the one that is brutally taking advantage of women, nobody else. And you're the one that is insulting women, nobody else. It's upside down world. God bless you all. Stay safe. Blessings to all. Follow our pages. Follow our pages and everywhere that you see our pages. And follow every single page. Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Getter. I don't even know what else. Stay safe, and like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. Blessings to all.